morning, friends, and welcome back. Thank you to so many of you for getting in touch with me last week to let me know what the temperatures are where you are. Since we are nearing the end of winter, although we are getting 6 to 8 inches of snow again tomorrow, what's happening? We are going to look at ways to make the springtime get here a little bit more quickly. So I'm going to show you how I made these logs. This, by the way, is how you could stand them up in a container if you don't have a fireplace. Here's how I made these though. These are wrapping paper rolls. This is a paper towel roll. So I wanted to mix the sizes up and the widths because branches in nature tend to come in all different shapes and sizes. And what I did was I took my hot glue gun, and this takes a lot of hot glue. I made about 6 of these rolls and I cut the longer ones in half. But that was mainly because of this video. I can't fit those really long ones in the shots, and you can follow the same instructions. If you're going to stand these up inside of something, I would recommend that you leave them very long and still just change the height a little bit. And I took the ends of these and made these ends a little bit ragged. Then I folded them in and I took some paper from a magazine that I had and I crumpled it up and put it inside the end of the tube. And now I started to hot glue over it. I will tell you that what I ended up doing was covering that end with masking tape. That made it a lot easier to work with and a lot easier to decoupage. And I didn't have to use as much glue as I was using in this case. Now this part's kind of relaxing and fun. I took the hot glue, and you can only do about 3/4 of this at a time. In other words, I'm going to hot glue just the top section of this, actually 3/4 of it, so that I can hold it down at the bottom. And you want to keep one thing in mind, so that you're not wasting all of this hot glue. What you want to do is make sure that one portion of this doesn't have that much glue on it, because whether you have this stacked in a fireplace or whether you're going to put it inside a pan standing up, there's going to be one piece of this that you're not going to see at all. So there's no use in wasting all of the glue on that one small section. And as you can see here, this is where I got the masking tape out. I crunched up the magazine paper, I put it inside the end, and I covered it with the masking tape rather than waste so much glue. I did add some hot glue around it to keep it secure. Even if the roll is already white, because the glue is clear, we still want to paint this because we're going to put a napkin over it, and you need to make sure there's something to help that napkin pop the pattern. So you want to cover this in chalk paint. Now I know chalk paint will stick to hot glue, dried hot glue. So I'm going to add, this is the Americana Decor Chalky Finish paint in their white color, and I'm going to paint the ends and the whole roll with this chalk paint. Once I'm done, I'm going to put this aside to dry, and I will go on to my next pieces. Hope I didn't confuse you before, but as you can see, this has only 3/4 of the top of it done so that you can hold on to it while you're applying that hot glue. So the bottom part is where you hold it so you can glue everything, and then once the top part dries, you can grasp it. Now this back part is where I didn't add a lot of glue because that's not going to be seen. I wanted to mention I did switch glue guns, and the reason for that is because I was gluing so quickly that the hot glue gun couldn't keep up with me. So I used 2 different glue guns. At first I thought my glue gun was broken, and then I realized I'm just going through so much glue so quickly that the glue gun can't heat it up fast enough. So nothing is wrong with your glue gun. You may have to take your time if you've only got one glue gun. That's not a big problem though. So this is how these look now that they're all dried and painted and the glue is all painted, and now we're going to decoupage. So I've been hearing that people are having a tough time finding this napkin decoupage glue. And so you know, I've been contacting my distributor, I've contacted stores on Amazon. I have no idea why it's taking so long to get this. If at all possible, you really do want to use napkin decoupage glue though. And what you want to do is these napkins, I'll have a link down below. I noticed when I double checked to make sure the napkins were available, several places on Amazon are selling them, so check through the link below. Every single one of them that's selling them says only 6 left, only 9 left, only 3 left. So you just want to be careful. A lot of times after a video, something sells out pretty quickly, unless you already have these. And these are the birch napkins. That's what they're called. And we're going to decoupage them down over this dried hot glue and paint so that it actually looks like a branch. And you want to make sure you're using the dry method, which means you just place it down. I was just showing you how I took all the edges off because you don't want any hard edges. You want everything to look natural. And you just want to take your decoupage glue, load up your brush. After you've separated your napkin, of course, you just want to go in the direction of the hot glue. And this is one case where wrinkles don't matter at all. It will even add to the texture of what a branch looks like. And just make sure you're putting the napkins on in the proper direction. And all you do is just keep adding decoupage glue, the napkin decoupage glue. And it's okay to overlap it up here at the top. And keep in mind, you want to remove any of these edges before you separate that 3-ply napkin. If you find that you have any excess paper hanging off, that's just a little hot glue stuck right there, that clump. But if you've got any excess paper where you didn't quite overlap, it's okay to just take a wet brush and pull that paper away. So now that these are all dry, they took a little bit of time to dry. I put them near the heater. You can use, this is DecoArt Professional Effects. This is the modeling paste by DecoArt. And you can also use the Snow Writer if you have that. And to add a little bit of charm, of course, I wanted to put some glitter in here because the snow does glisten. You want to be careful. There are some glitters out there that look white. Now, if you can tell, the one on the bottom here actually has some iridescence to it. You may prefer that. I wanted to go with a pure white. And I'll have links down below for some glitter for you. This is actually glass. It's crushed glass. And it can be sharp, but it's still got a very pretty look. You can use either one of these. And what I did was I wanted to make it look realistic. So I took this modeling paste and I just put it in certain sections like you would see on some, like if you see logs out in the backyard. And when the snow falls on them, it doesn't exactly fall all over the place, or it starts to melt away in certain areas, but not all areas. So what I did was I just took a palette knife, this is actually an old butter knife, and I spread it in different little areas only around the part of this where I knew the log was going to be seen. So in other words, you don't have to cover the whole log in this. You just want to place it in certain areas so that it just looks like a little snow is left over. And while it's wet, all you need to do is take your glitter of choice and sprinkle it over top. Showing you this just for comparison. This is glitter on the right, and on this left side I'm going to put the crushed glass. And this is just in case you have one and not the other. Both of them are really very pretty though. So this the modeling paste is down and I'm sprinkling the glass or the glitter over it, and I always shake off the excess. As you can see, I think there really isn't much of a difference at all. That's the glitter that I'm showing you on the right here over the snow. And then over to the left side is the crushed glass. Both very pretty, and not for any reason, but I just went with the glitter on the rest of these. And I did leave all of these to dry overnight so that the following morning when I came back, here is what everything looked like. You can see, I think these logs look very realistic, and that tiny bit of snow and glistening on them I think is just a perfect touch. And again, you may want to stand these up in a decorative container, or you may want to put them in your actual fireplace or a faux fireplace. I've seen a lot of those faux fireplaces on Pinterest, and there are actually videos here on YouTube on how to make a faux fireplace. Really nice, and these would go perfect inside of there with some tiny white lights or some of the faux candles that flicker and actually look realistic. It's a nice touch in the corner of any room. I know I have made this video in the past, but I have a lot of new subscribers and people that have been asking me where this video is, and rather than go through almost 400 videos, I thought I would just make it again because it's about 2 years old, the other one, and I've had some new products added. So one thing I want to remind you of, guys, I am on Facebook at Upcycle with Decoupage. If you go over and like and follow the page, Facebook will notify you every week when I put a video out. It will come up in your feed. You can click right on it and go to the video. The link for supplies are all down below. And don't forget, I have an ebook called Successful Decoupage Every Time. Again, I'll put the links down below. And you can turn your smartphone or your iPad or your smart device into a Kindle for free. I'll put that link down below. My ebook is $4.99. And again, I try to get back to you guys as often as I can. That's not very easy to do, which is why I wrote the ebook, so that I can answer the most common questions that I get, and also refer you back to the videos that you're looking for and you ask about. And it helps you on all different surfaces, tells you about base coats, top coats, paints. Very thorough book. And thank you so much for purchasing the book. Thank you for subscribing. So important to the channel. Just showing you a little bit of what's going on in my backyard. In the meantime, my friends, thank you so much. I will see you again, hopefully next week, if all goes okay. You never know with power outages and storms and all the other things that have been coming at us this way. Hope you guys are feeling well and safe, and I will chat with you next week, hopefully. Thanks again, my friends. Bye-bye.